in a situation, let's just say, Jada, we have a conversation and you disrespect me. I'm not going to argue with you. Rule number 2 off accountable masculinity: we don't argue with women. I see the way that women communicate with each other, so there's no need to argue with you. There's nothing that a man can win in an argument with a woman. Nothing. It's just wasted. So I play it cool, keep it professional. Then the next time around, when an opportunity presents to show you an example of how I was treated by you before, then we have to put it up, and you're gonna have to take that into consideration. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, and
that's how I learned too. It's like, hey, remember when you said this to me, and then you don't like when you see on Instagram this woman doing this? Look at what you were doing just the same way, and it doesn't look cute, does it? And that's how you have to look, is like in the mirror, and it's a reflection of like, you have to see someone else doing it sometimes, so that you're like, oh, do I act like that?
Man, yeah, because what women in these situations do not like is when a person that doesn't even know your mother says, hey, you act like your mom. I guarantee your mom acts the same way that you do. And it's because it has to come from somewhere. Where did you get that reinforced expression? Who made you comfortable communicating like that? Because if men communicated with each other the way that you communicate with your mother, how long do you think we'll live?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why, like, I get on men very, very, very hard about, yo, you communicate like a woman. You act like you have your mother's last name. You know, like that's exactly the way you have to frame it. Because if you don't tell them that I'm saying everything shy, you acting like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Before they can actually get it. Because you don't realize that the way that you communicate came from your mother. You can't replicate something you've never seen. If you've never seen man and woman engaged in healthy conversation and conflict resolution, if you haven't been around anything but women, there's no way that you can simulate how men are supposed to communicate with each other without in the background having a catty agenda in the way that you use your words.
Men wouldn't do that. You're going to get punched in the face. And I think that there is a lack of discipline in women. It's like, I'm watching like women that grow up with fathers. I had a father and I had a phenomenal stepdad. Oh, my stepdad was strict. Oh my goodness. I was so grateful for him. I mean, there was some stern, like, strict, like, don't do that he would do. And it was for protecting me. And so when I'm watching even other women grow up, and it helped me to recognize and choose well, by the way, you end up choosing the man just like what you grew up with. So my husband is the same way, like very stern and stuff. And you get wrapped up in like the feminism of women that don't have a man or a father, and they're like, that's not normal behavior. And so then you think in your head, wait, is it not normal behavior? Like, I thought this is, but then you come to realize, yes, it is. A man's supposed to be like the protector and the provider. What does that look like? If you're doing something where you're walking to your own destruction, they're going to say, don't do that. And they're going to be very vocal about that. So you understand the impact. If you do that, there's going to be consequences. And so I think women, when you watch women grow up with fathers, and I'm watching it even like right now with my niece, like she has a phenomenal dad that's the same exact way. It's good for them to understand that there's like consequences to, with the father, there's consequences, harsh consequences to your actions, the way you speak, the way you present yourself, the way you do this, that, right? And the third, women, when they're with emotional mothers that keep operating and just saying whatever they want to say, however they feel all the time, they grow up without any emotional discipline or discipline in general. That's what I'm dealing with when I'm coaching. I'm dealing with women. It's like, are you not afraid of saying that out loud? Like, are you not afraid? Like, there should be fear embedded in you. And with men, it's like there's fear. If I say this, I could get knocked out. If I act like this, I'm gonna get knocked out. And I see that with women, that like, you don't get knocked out by your daddy, but there was a little bit more strict sternness in the household for a woman, to where okay, I understand. I don't want to go out and embarrass myself or embarrass my family or ruin my reputation. And this is that and third. But these women on Instagram, just like, they acting, even the one that you showed me with the bull thing, and she's got her boobies hanging out, bouncing while she's saying we don't need men, and they're objectifying us or whatever she said. That's how she was acting like they are. Look at how you're acting and displaying yourself, and you don't think, there's no thought process, because you probably grew up with a mother who didn't think and train you up of like how to present yourself and how to actually get what you want. You want a man to respect you and treat you a certain way, present yourself accordingly to have that. You have to earn everything. I think women today, I'm on a tangent. Women today, what you understand, you do have to earn your way. Like, period. Men got that. They understand that. They have to earn the respect. They have to earn these things. It's so mind-boggling to me today with women. And I know I used to think like this, but it got snatched up real quick. Because how is it that you think that I am just going to move and operate where anything I want should just be given to me? It's a very privileged mindset. You're dressed like this, you're going to get this. If you want this, you have to earn this. How do you earn this? You dress a certain way, you perform a certain way, you talk a certain way, and you'll get that. You earned it. It's now your reward. She's getting sloppy results to where she's talking like that about men because she's performing sloppy. So,
yep. Reinforced communication, just it's a cyclic self-validation, and you want outcomes to reflect the way that you think in the subjective. That's like how you think. But in the objective, nobody sees you the way that you feel about yourself.
Yeah. You got to look at the results that are being given to you. That is the proof in the pudding. When you took a test, and it didn't matter if you said, I barred this, if it comes back an F, you failed. You're not smart. You're not bright. And so the results that you're getting should tell you, I'm not passing this test. I'm not getting the results I want. So I need to I need to study. I need to change. I need to appear different. I need to walk different. I need to move different. I need to go to a different school, not to the liberal arts, but to actually learn femininity and how to communicate and being a wife and a model. Like, you have to go to a different form of education because what you want is not being given to you. And these poor women are being trained up by their mothers to be very privileged, this very privileged mindset of, I can act however I want to act, I can speak however I want to speak, and I should be given loyalty, respect, all of this by a man. And it's just delusion. There's no logical nothing to that. And when there's a father present, a good father present, he would teach you that as a woman. Like, no, you know?
Case in point.
Unpopular opinion. I am fully convinced that a woman should have her father choose her man. I am truly convinced that a man of God should choose his daughter's husband. Women are not capable of choosing a good man. Women are too emotionally driven. Myself and other women that I know too many times have sat and chose a man we knew was no good for us because of our emotions. That's exactly why we need a father to be able to guide us and lead us to a righteous man, to a good man, regardless of how we feel as women. I am 100% convinced that the father is supposed to choose the man for the woman. If we look at divorce rates, 80% or more is initiated by women. It shows that women are having a hard time choosing a partner now that we've been granted all this freedom to choose our own partners, resulting in a lot of broken homes. Not only are we initiating the divorces, but the insane amount of women deciding to be with bad men because of our bodies telling us to do things or our emotions telling us to do things. Living in sin will cause you to do and choose the wrong person. We are supposed to have order. Things are supposed to be done decently and in order. And I am 100% convinced that the men, our fathers, should give us over to marriage to a man of their choosing. Now, I know a lot of y'all going to automatically go to the extreme. I'm not talking about selling your daughter to a rich person just for the money to oppression. Some fathers actually cared about their daughters and made sure that their daughters would be happy. That's what I'm talking about. The good parts of it. I'm not saying that men should be able to abuse and enslave women, because I know a lot of y'all are finna come for me with such ridiculous extremes. I'm not talking about that. But if we just look at the fruit of what's going on all around us, women have not shown that we are capable of choosing a good man.
100% agree. I 100% agree. That's why, like, choosing someone, and especially, you will choose definitely what you're familiar with as well. And so I've noticed that women that have never had a man present, because like I said, me and my sister ended up marrying men that are the same, very introverted, not a lot of words to say, just handle business, get it done. That's it. But that was our father in the house. Like, that's how he was. It was, you would never know if my stepfather had an emotional day. I would just call my father, because like, really, that's who he is. And you would never know if he was emotional or anything. He was just so well emotionally, just great. Like, he could handle his emotions great. He could handle my mother great. He was great. And he was present, and he loved being a family man. And so by instinct, we married the same type of men. Now, I've watched women who did not have a man present at all. They end up marrying very feminine men, because it's almost like growing up with their mother with all these emotions and stuff. They're so confused on how to choose a man. They date the narcissist. They actually date the narcissist, the performer, I've never seen a man that was a performer and so emotionally expressive and been like, yep, that's a man. Like, no, it's a woman. And they date almost their mothers. Like, they date a man with very feminine qualities. And when I say I don't even want to say feminine. I'll say emotional, very emotional based. They're very performative. They're very expressive. And those men, you wonder why they need the validation of others. You get into a marriage with them, they're constantly cheating. They're still cheating on you. They were performative before you ever got into the relationship. Whenever you guys argue, they had big expressions every single time. Did you think he was going to be cool and collected and be able to lead and guide you? He was full of insecurities. And you date your mother. So that's my opinion.
Date your mother is crazy.
You date and marry your mother, and because you don't want the man that's the cool, calm, collective, barely has any words to say. Why are we marrying men that we want to be their best friend? I don't want my man to be my bestie. Just guide, lead me, teach me, and do that. And I actually have to tell women that I'm coaching, because the woman will be like, he's not validating me. He's not supposed to be your bestie.
He's not supposed to validate you.
He's doing exactly what he needs to do. Protect, lead, guide, provide. Boom, that's it. Nowhere, especially the Christians, right? Nowhere in the Bible it says that he's supposed to be my best friend and I'm supposed to be feeling happy and emotionally good with this man. No. In fact, with my father in the house, that you think that was fun? Like, I knew I was going to get in trouble, but I knew he loved me, right? One time I got out the car on the street where it was a busy street, and I got out the car after he said, do not go out that side. And I still did it anyways. And I jumped out into traffic, and he snatched me up by my arm, and I was in big trouble. But I knew, first of all, I never did it again, but I knew it was out of love, and he was doing exactly what he needed to do. You need to feel like there's consequences. If you do that, you could have gotten killed. So you need to feel the impact of me when I discipline you, that I'm doing it because I love you. And that's what your husband is supposed to do. So your relationship sometimes actually shouldn't feel good. It shouldn't feel good. It should just be about protecting and providing, making sure you're good, you're straight, like you're healthy, we're on the right track. That's what love is. Love is also disciplining the person that you love. Love is also correcting the person you love. Love is also not criticizing. That's what women would say. Critiquing. Criticize, yeah, they'll say you're criticizing me, critiquing you because they're trying to make sure you don't make decisions that would hurt you or harm you. That's love. What women want is a best friend as for a man that makes them feel good. That's not their role. And if you grew up with a father, you would know that. But because you grew up with your mother in the house and no father figure, and your mother always wanted emotional connection, she always wanted validation, she was performative. When every time you performed, she for her, she validated and gave you love, and vice versa, and that was your guys' relationship, you end up dating someone the exact same way. And you don't understand what it's like to be with an actual man. And so when you get with that man, you think you're being criticized and abused, and you're not. You're not. You're being corrected and guided, and you're confused. So that's my tangent.
Look, the level of clarity that you just gave by dissecting what she said, fusing it with your anecdotal experience, and then looking at it from, you know, what you've observed. It's so necessary to be able to give the other perspective, because oftentimes you'll hear people that's raised by a single parent say what they don't need. It's easy to say what you don't need when you never had it.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
It's,
yeah.
it's easy to say what you don't need when you never had it. But how can you go without something and then criticize the validity of having it? Because it's a completely different perspective, you know? Because when you're operating like the bunny, with the bunny's mindset, I'm running with that right now.
The bunny.
Yeah, like you're definitely gonna think that everybody's trying to control you. But men don't men that care about you don't want to control you. They want you to be informed about the decisions that you're making. Because you're confused. The people that think that way, they're conflating their mother's love with the conflict of a man's love, and they're putting those together, and they're saying, "Oh, you're just trying to control me." Like, no, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, no man wants to micromanage someone every day. Men want to have a linear path to predict what they're going to have going on. You know, as long as you're balanced emotionally and you can do for yourself independently, you know, like contain yourself. You don't need a man as an emotional support animal. That's beneficial to the man and the relationship, you know. And this level of validation on an emotional level that women are looking for, they're only going to get that from their mothers, and they're not even getting it from them. So the reality is that a lot of women are failing in relationships, in my opinion, because the reality that they believe exists is only in their head. It's the
Yeah.
epitome. It's deeper than just saying you're delusional, right? What you're thinking should be happening is only going to take place in a Tyler Perry movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's entertainment is for the exception. Is the imagination is the exception. Can it happen in real life? It's possible. But is it probable based on the way that you were raised? Is it probable based on the way that your self-esteem was cultivated? You know, is it probable based on proximity to the people that who are you around that's getting that same type of validation?
Mm-hmm.
That should signify to you that it probably is a far-reaching idea more than anything, versus a reality that is compatible with what you do every day, you know. All right, folks, appreciate you sticking with me to the end. This has been another episode of Beyond the Algorithm. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Go get the book, and most importantly, I will see you beyond the algorithm, because that's where life actually happens.